Hello sir, my name is Adeline and today I'm going to talk about our group's projects introduction part. So firstly, I'll introduce you to our group members, which are Hu Shiyao, Liu Guangjie, Chen Mingwei, and Chen Mingfu. So now I'll be discussing about the introduction part. So Asora System SDM BHD is a Malaysia Sendirian Berhad which is located in Johor. This company provides software services such as they provide their in-house developed software, scheduling of rate system, which is a project management tool for the telecommunication industry. And this project is to elevate and transform the workforce to be more performance driven and to enhance collaboration amongst parties and improve team dynamic. So this company started their business operations in 2008 and Telecom Malaysia was its first client. They specialize in cloud-based project management platform for network development, which is a part of the Asora system they developed. So they also provide a low-cost and high-efficiency service to their clients, and as a result, the system is used by 40 constructions around Malaysia, and it has taken up to 1.6 billion of the telecom projects. So now I'll pass up to my next member. Thank you.
Good day, sir. I'm Hu Xiao. So I'll be talking about the problems of the company that we interviewed. So after the interview, we know that the SOR company mainly relies on its own cloud-based in-house developed SOR system for their daily operations. So the first problem we found out that is that the after the development of the SOR system, they done their own tests internally, and the third parties penetration are not used. So that means that the system might get penetrated by some other high skilled personnel, even though it said that the system is installed with the software that will filter out the malware or something else about the attacks. So the system will still have the opportunity to get penetrated because as the technology evolves and other malwares are other advanced malware will be developed and be used to penetrate the system. So in the future, the system might have the opportunity to get penetrated. So for the client's view, the clients are not controlled in terms of accounts. So for this example, if the client the client is resigned from the company, then the next employee of the company will take the place of the resigned person, and it can log into the SOR system using the same account. So meaning that clients with the login credentials can log into the SOR system and view or even manipulate the data. So that if some of the employees of the client or from the client have some bad intention by stealing or even manipulate the data of the project, then there might be a data breach from the clients. So it will affect the normal operations for the SOR system. So the last one is that the SOR company encourage their employees to use their own device, meaning that each of the employees will have to prepare their own laptops for their work, but we cannot be 100% sure that our own device will not have any malware attacks, meaning that even with the protection software installed in their database, that will filter out any malware attack. But if one of the employees, the device have the malware, and the database might have the opportunity to get a malware attack. And also, since the company encouraged them to use their own device, meaning that the company also encouraged them to work even though they are not in the office, so that they can work anywhere. So the company does not have the procedure for them to like using the VPN before they have connect to the company system. So because without VPN, our even though we use our own home Wi-Fi to connect to our database, we still have the chance to uh, get stolen packet, got our packet stolen by other hackers, and some of the data might be leaked from there. So because most of the time, their employees are working at the office, so they don't have face any data leak from now. But if they are compulsory to work at home, they might still have this risk. For the data leak. So I think that's all. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Liu Guangjie, and I'm from lecture sessions A2. Today I'm going to present our group assignment for the part which is approach to risk assessment. So after I review the interview session with the company, I found out there are 15 risks that can be listed out. The first one of the risk is easy to be accessed by third party. Since their system is penetration tested by their own employees or developer teams, they may be missing certain software that makes the system can easily reachable by other people. And then the second risk is employee data theft. The internal maintenance is carried out and employees are aware of the bug. If one of those workers are having malicious intentions, the business will be put at a danger since the employee know exactly what or where is the bug is and how to utilize it to fulfill their plans. And then the third risk is data leak. They are storing their data on cloud servers, which will result in data leaks because the data housed on a cloud server who can ensure that the data will not be exploited to third party or leak to someone who go to steal their data on the cloud server. And then the fourth risk is trust issue. Since sharing a single account and using it by a few employees reduce the capacity to monitor or audit who has used the account at any particularly moment. To those who have shared accounts will have some level of privacy. For example, if too many employees use same account, the privacy of the account owner will be seen by the person who using the account, like the credit card numbers or identity card number. And then the next one is privacy issues. Since employee resigns but the corporation retains their contact information, the information of quitting workers or departing workers might be exploited or utilized without the owner knowledge. Since the employee is already resigned, I think the system should able to automatically remove or archive their details and could not be seen by anyone to protect their privacy issues. And then the next risk is backup frequency. Since too frequent backup can generate storage conflict in the system and may confuse the employees. This is because the servers backup every 4 hours per day, and when some employees key in data to their servers, the server backup simultaneously with when the data is keyed. So I think maybe the company can consider to longer their backup frequency. And then the next one is server corrupts. Since the company is using the cloud to store and backup their company data, so companies will not able to receive backup or receive data on time once the server goes down or the internet connection is lost. When the company, the employees is storing data to the online server, but when the internet connection is interrupted by or the electricity is outage, I think it will cause the data will not be updated at the backup server. And then the next risk is security breaches. For example, the identity theft happens when a company person's credentials are not kept up to date. This is because the user ID and password are not updated frequently. Like if one account, their user ID and password do not change, and someone can easily log in to their account because since their account is shared to others. And then the next risk is system security. Because the organizations did not penetration testing or request that any tester to test or access its system, so there are no security assurance can be provided. And the next risk that is lack of accomplished procedure handover and takeover. If one of the company employee resign, the company clients must update their password manually to avoid any unnecessary complication. This is because any one of the employees of the company will have their own client account ID and password. Since their client do not update their password frequently, like 1 week or 1 month, every 1 month update their password to a new password. Since if the one of the employee want to take back action to do something wrong, then they can log into their client account. So this is they need to improve their accomplished procedure handover and takeover. And the next risk is difficult to synchronize data. Because client can share a single account with several users, the system has trouble synchronizing data and may create system faults as a result of having too much data flow or the requirement synchronize information together. This is because one account at more than 2 users using at the same time. If they are perform more than one action, the data may confuse why there are 2 actions performing at the same time, and I think it cannot update to the cloud server. And then the next one is the two-factor authentication. When a user attempt to log into the system, no authenticator is used as a result of the lack of additional security. And the third parties or hacker will easily to able simply get access to the system. This is because when a user want to log into the system, there are no any authenticator, or a system will email or send a 6 randomly code to user which need to key in when they click login button. Then after that, the system need to verify the code is whether same with the code they just email to the user. And then the next risk is no VPN or authorized device required. Any device or gateway may immediately connect to the backup cloud and server of the enterprise. This may result in an unprotected browsing. Since the company data is stored on cloud, so the system should ensure that the device or gateway used to connect to the cloud server is secure using secure Wi-Fi or the company Wi-Fi to prevent any unnecessary trouble. And then the next risk is lack of password encryption. This is because the corporation only encrypts its own source code, but external data is not safeguarded by encryption methods such as their user password. If only the source code is encrypted but passwords are not, so if there someone go view their database, so they can retrieve the user password and then just simply log into the user account. And then the last risk is loss of data. When new information or data was entered to the primary server, the organization employed a real-time technique to update their data to a backup server. What if the internet connection is lost? The data on the backup server may not be updated. Since the company used the real-time update data, such like example when their employees key in data to the main server, and then the same time the data is also updated to the backup server. How if the connection is lost? The data will not be updated to the backup server when they key into the main server. Okay, that's all for my presentation for this part. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I'm Ifu, and I'm gonna explain what is risk and mitigation plan for our groups. Okay, so first one, easy to be accessed by third party. How are we gonna to prevent this? Okay, company or organization should hire some penetration tester to check their system security level so that they can confirm their system are good to go and to ensure their system security levels. Okay, and the second one, employee data theft. For this one, actually, the company or the organization should always keep track of the activities of the of the employee. Why so? Because employees sometimes those employee got bad intention, they will try to copy out the company data or clients details, credential details to maybe benefit themselves. So this why the company or the organization should always keep track of the employee activities so that to prevent this data theft. And the third one, data leak. Okay, this one the company should always have one physical local server so that they can prevent their data from leak out to third party or others, because having local server is very important. And the fourth one is the trust issue. Okay, this one I think most of the company or organization have this issue because they share the employee account, user account, like 2 or 3 employees use together at the same time. So this is a trust issue. When something happen or some mistake or problems pop up, the employee will try to push to each other like, hey, I'm not doing this part, hey, I'm not doing this, and then the trust issue will be happen So the better way to handle this kind of issue is, I think every employee should have their own user account Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, the privacy issue. Okay, due to personal privacy concerns, I think everyone have their own account, and it's more easy for the system to delete and edit the personal information. Since every everyone has their own account, right? Then no need to share, and this can avoid privacy issue like one account owner have to share their credential details to those shareable user Okay, so next one, backup frequency. Okay, for this one, actually backup frequency um, can can be done by daily and weekly to monthly, but don't need to be every second and every few hours because if you doing this too often, it will make your system have a heavy workload. Then it will cause the system maybe have some error, and it's also very hard for the system to keep uploading and downloading the backups. Okay, so backup frequency, I think the company or organization should try to extend some of the backup time lah. Okay, and the next one, server corrupts. Okay, this one is quite important because having a local backup and is very important due to if sometimes you try to pick up your data or your backups online, if your internet connection faulty, or sometimes it's because due to the weather, heavy rain and then water flow, your connection is very bad, then you try to upload your important data online to cloud, is very hard, and you try to receive your backup data from the cloud is also, I think the chance to receive it is also very hard because your connection is already down. Then you cannot get any information or try to back up online again. Then for me, I think it's better to have a local backup lah, compared to having the backup on online cloud. Okay, and for the security breaches, okay, this one, company should always send an email to remind the user to update their password. Okay, and for this can prevent and to avoid those third party or hackers try to hack their password or to log in the system by using their password. Okay, and the next one, system security. Like I mentioned, companies should always have some penetration tester often, or to guarantee their system security level lah. Okay, to check it more frequently or regularly in order not to miss any, even it's a minor mistake or bugs. So penetration tester can check the security level of the system so that can make sure and enhance the security level of the systems. Okay, and number 10 is lack of accomplished procedure handover and takeover. Okay, this one maybe a lot of the company also have this issue lah. Okay, because company, when some of the employee resign and the newcomers, they have a difficulty to have handover and takeover procedure lah. Okay, for this one, actually the organization and company should have a better and clear procedure for this to avoid some of the missing part for each other. Okay, so the handover should know what the employee should know what he must hand over to the newcomers, and the newcomers must understand and know what he must take over and make the procedure more efficient and effective lah. Okay. Okay, number 11, difficult to synchronize data. Okay, for this one, company and company and organizations should always encourage each other to create an account for themselves without sharing the account. Since if one account is shared to 3 or 4 users together, okay, then it's very difficult for the system to synchronize the data at the same time. Since, for example, I'm doing the intro part, and then another employee is doing the conclusion part. Okay, two of us are sharing the one account, then the system may occur some of the error due to cause he think the user is like having some issue because I'm doing the intro part, then another same account user doing the summary, then the system will confuse because two input at the same time, then will cause some error sometimes. Okay, so to avoid this synchronized data difficulty. So I think it's better to have their own account lah. Okay, and the next one, for two-factor authentication. Okay, this one is very important due to protect your system and account to prevent third party and unwelcome personnel to go into our system. So this one is for the sake of protecting the system information and credential details of the company lah. Important asset lah. So this one for the next one, VPN or authorized device request. Okay, this one I think most of the company have this one. Is company employees are only able to log in or have to access the company websites or backup using a specific VPN portal or using a specific device that verified by the company or organization. This is a must because if you have this that then the third party or unwelcome personnel like hackers, they are very hard to go to our system due to they don't know the VPN portals and they don't have the verified accounts device. Okay, and number 14, the lack of password encryptions. Okay, this one, the organization or the company should encrypt all the data and include the password so that the third party or the hackers, even they try to steal the data from our system, they also will be having much difficulties. Even they try to hack inside, then all the things is already encrypted. They cannot get any credential details or those important details because it's already encrypted. So it's very hard for them to get the password and all those important information from just hacking into our systems. Okay, so this one is a must. And lastly is the loss of data. Okay, company should always manually check, backup their server and internet outage while employee are typing data. So this one is not company or organization cannot just depends on the automatically upload system lah. This one sometimes the system or the employee may do something like fail to backup or the system will sometimes will having difficulty to backup due to some errors or what. So this one, I think the company or organization should manually or regularly check sometimes maybe once a week to make sure all the data has been input correctly and the system don't have any faulty lah. Okay, this all my explain for the risk and mitigation plan. Okay, thank you.
Hello, I'm Mingwei. I will be doing conclusion for my presentation group. So to summarize, risk management is a crucial part of an organization because it enables an organization to predict and prepare for any uncertainties and unpredictables that could possibly harm the organizations. So especially in this era where the internet globalized plus the COVID-19 pandemic, more and more business move on to the internet to like manage their business. So there are more risks coming from the cyberspace compared to decades ago. So throughout this entire project, we have found around 15 risks based on our analysis and assumptions after we made an interview with SOAR System STM PhD company. Right. So from this interview, the interviewee mentioned that they have provided security for many aspects for their company. Like for instance, they do encryption for their source codes, and they do SSL for the websites. They don't outsource their systems, and their staff has limited access to their system, and so on. So these given examples can be a risk itself, and if handled otherwise, new risks might arise. Like take outsourcing for example, right? So if they outsource their system, the third-party company might use their information. And from another perspective, if they don't outsource their system, there are possibilities that they are not skillful enough compared to the third-party system company, like to secure their system, their company, right? So overall, we can conclude that even though we cannot like protect our business from like every aspect, because when we provide a cure or secure a risk, another risk might arise. So the most we can do is to identify the risk as soon as possible and to decrease the risk and the impact by applying the risk management. So that's all from me. Thank you.